The Xeno series is one of my favourite RPG series, with Xenogears and Xenoblade Chronicles being some of my best RPGs of all time. In between these titles during the mid-2000s, a trilogy of JRPGs were released for the PS2. I'm talking about Xenosaga. Now I've been holding off replaying these games for a long time now due to rumours of a HD remaster on the Switch. However, this rumour was recently shut down when Bandai Namco's general manager Katsuhiro Harada revealed that all plans for this were cancelled due to concerns about its profitability. If you ask me, this is a crime, as Xenosaga has a lot to offer and should be played by all JRPG enthusiasts. Since there's no remaster in sight, the PS2 version will have to do for now. I'm going to be reviewing all three games separately, obviously starting with the first, so let's get into it. This sci-fi focused story begins on the spaceship the Wille, with the main character Chief Engineer Shion running tests on a battle android Cosmos. Shortly after, the Wille is attacked by an alien race called the Gnosis, but is saved when Cosmos activates itself and starts kicking total ass. Look, I'm not even going to try to explain anything more. The story is complex and you should just experience it for yourself. While Xenosaga is a video game, I wouldn't blame you if you called it an interactive movie. It is very story focused, with its main narrative driven by many lengthy cutscenes. You know, it's the kind of game that has save points in between cutscenes, which are often over 20 minutes long. Most of the time, I didn't have a problem with this. Sitting back watching these voice scenes was a treat, with many of them still being breathtaking today. The cast of characters are also very interesting, and there is a lot of character development both within episodes Episode 1 and future games of the series. The story itself has twists and turns everywhere, with loads of different characters and world building. This is usually really good, but I'm not gonna lie, at times it is a bit confusing. The game ends with a lot of unanswered questions too, but this is perfect for its trilogy format. It was certainly enough to make me want to jump straight into the second title, which is just what I'm going to do. I was hooked on everything about the world and the characters. However, there were also times that I just wanted to get out there and play the damn game. This emphasis on story also creates a linear experience, but I understand that this is the price you pay for solid storytelling, and solid it certainly is. It all comes down to personal preference. If you're the kind of person who needs to be playing at all times, then maybe Xenosaga isn't for you, but this would be a shame because it does have an epic tale to tell.
The last thing I want to worry about is supporting a bunch of untested, weapons-grade Realians.
Excuse me, but these people are highly qualified soldiers.
These people? You're treating equipment like people?
Xenosaga is beautifully presented. Throughout the course of the trilogy, the visual style greatly changes, with Xenosaga Episode 1 adopting more of an anime style look. The cutscenes really are beautiful to watch, and the excellent voice acting really helps in this regard. I mean, there is some major experience behind the voice actors selected for this series. They sound great, but my only issue here is that the lip syncing is very off, but I can't be too harsh considering the game is nearly 20 years old. And as you would expect from Yasunori Mitsuda, the soundtrack is brilliant and has some highly atmospheric and very memorable tracks. A big shout out goes to the ending song Kuroku, which is one of my favourite RPG vocal tracks of all time. Fun fact, it is also sung by Joanne Hogg, the same voice behind the two amazing Xenogears vocal tracks. There are several main dungeons that you'll need to explore in between the many lengthy cutscenes. Within these, battles can be initiated by touching an enemy. Sometimes you can strategically avoid an encounter, while at other times you'll need to fight past them to access the next area. In battle, you can choose from any 3 of the 6 main party members, each of which have their own strengths and weaknesses in battle. Each turn, your character is given 4 AP to use, and these can be either spent all at once using a range of unique abilities or magic spells, or saved up to unleash a more powerful attack in the future. There's a couple of features here that really help enhance this turn-based system. First is the boost mechanic. After several attacks, your character's boost gauge will charge, allowing you to choose a time to give that character an extra turn. Then there are the event slots that constantly rotate between bonuses. If your character has a turn while a bonus is active, then it makes sense to take advantage of it. For instance, one bonus increases the amount of boost you'll get, so if you don't attack on that turn, then you'll waste the bonus. Boosting in at the right time to take advantage of these slots is one thing that makes this turn-based system so strategic. The enemies that you face can also use boost, but the catch is that there can only ever be one boosted turn at a time. This is all fine, but my issue here is that some bosses can boost over your boost, which shouldn't ever happen as it goes against the mechanics of the system. When this does happen, it is highly annoying as it throws all of your strategy out the window. In addition to kicking ass on foot, 4 of your party members can also jump into giant mechs called eggs, and this adds a whole new layer of strategy. On one hand, these giant mechs are unable to use conventional healing methods or use the regular character abilities, but in return they get loads more HP and firepower. There is a lot to consider for each battle, but to put simply, this turn-based system is brilliant. After each battle, in addition to receiving EXP, your characters will also earn tech points, ether points, and skill points, all of which can be used to customize your character's growth. Tech points can be spent on upgrading your stats or the strength of your unique battle abilities. EP can be spent on each character's unique magic skill trees, and SP, this can be spent extracting skills from accessories so that you can use their effects without having to equip the item. I really liked the amount that you can customize your characters, as it was always fun to go into the menu and spend these points to get stronger, even if there is at times an excessive amount of menu navigation to do so. This in itself works very well, but the downfall is that the characters that aren't participating in battle don't receive any TP, EP, or SP. For this reason, I felt that it's best to choose your main 3 characters early on, then stick with them for the rest of the game. Simply switching later in the game would cause hours of lost time, as they would be very behind on skills, magic, and tech learnt. I often thought that at least giving half the amount of earned points to your resting party members would have not made it so inefficient to experiment with different party combinations. One of the most notable side quests is finding the hidden segment doors and opening them with the associated key hidden somewhere else in the world. Discovering all of these will take some backtracking and thorough exploration of every inch of the game world. The biggest time waster, however, is the awesome minigames on offer. Yeah, there's a drilling game and a basic casino, but it's the other 2 that need a mention here. Firstly, we have the entirely optional Eggs battle, which puts you in a 3D environment up against enemy machines. Then there's Xenosaga, which is one of my favorite minigames of all time. The complexities of this card game is enough to rival real trading card games, but once you've learned the ins and outs, you'll be hooked. There are loads of cards to collect of different types, rarities, and in-game functions, which makes building your 40 card deck so strategic. While these 2 games are excellent, I was very disappointed that there was no in-game incentive to play them. With the crazy amount of remasters and ports that we're seeing lately, I cannot believe that Xenosaga isn't going to get the love that it deserves. Since there's no use in waiting any longer, now is the perfect time to replay the series that I was so fond of all those years ago. My tastes have changed over the years, but my love for Xenosaga has not. It's the memorable characters and quality story that does it for me. I cannot wait to learn more about everything, and a big part of this is due to the insane amount of quality cutscenes. The price you pay for this, of course, is the constant inactive gaming sessions you have, which is why Xenosaga will not appeal to everyone. This story-driven RPG is even further enhanced through an exceptional cast of voice actors and the employment of the great Yasunori Mitsuda, who composed the soundtrack. The highly strategic turn-based battle system and excellent minigames were 2 of the other features that really stood out for me. I didn't think that Xenosaga had any major flaws, just a few minor annoyances such as the cheap boss boosting and the excessive time it takes to adequately experiment with building all of your party members, but you can't have it all. Xenosaga Episode 1 starts the trilogy off with a bang, and I can't wait to jump straight into number 2. What's your story with the series? Have you played them all? What did you think? Let me know in the comments. This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. If you like this, hit like and sub for more RPG and Xenosaga content. See you next time.